Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the New Orleans Kings franchise here on MLB The Show 20. And here we start out this episode going towards June, heading towards the end of the month of May. And we find ourselves in a critical situation here in the ninth inning versus one of our division foes, the Athletics. Armenteros is on the mound. Let's see if he can complete the complete game shutout here in the ninth inning. Here he is facing Stephen Piscotty, and he will walk the leadoff batter here to start out the ninth inning. That's going to bring up Austin Allen, the catcher, with a man on first base. He's going to hit one to short, and Bodie will throw to Scooter, and Scooter to first. There is a double play, and now one more out away from a very impressive victory, but the next batter comes up, and he hits one up the middle. That's an easy base hit. And this inning does continue, but the next batter comes up. This is Tony Kemp. He could tie this game up with one swing. He hits one deep to right field, and that one will stay in the yard, and it will be run down by Martin in center field. And there we go. We get a victory here, and this Kings team has come along quite a bit. We have been winning some games nicely in the month of May, way better than our first 25 games where we went 6-19. And now we're putting together some good wins. We're starting to see who's good on the team and who's really bad on the team, to be honest. And let's just sim towards the end of the month of May. So we get into another critical situation. Here in the bottom of the ninth inning, we have an opportunity to possibly win this game with Melky Cabrera at the plate. Here he is. He hits one to center field. That one was right over the middle of the plate, and it is an easy pop-up. So here comes Scooter, who has been clutch for us in this series a little bit, but not putting up the numbers. And here he is, a high pitch in the zone, and he's just going to pop it out to third. And that one will end this game, and this one will be a loss. Chalk it up as a loss, but at least we split some games with the Athletics. We need to kind of make a statement in the division, and honestly, getting some wins there, we will garner some respect. We actually got 12 hits in this game. Remember last episode, the issue was that we couldn't get hits, but I think some guys are starting to come around now, as now we end up in another critical situation. Lose that one, now facing the Red Sox. We are up on the Red Sox 4-0, and we end up winning 4-1, and we end up taking 2 of 3 from them. But after the month of May, we get some unfortunate news. Corey Lee, the #1 prospect in baseball, our best prospect, our catcher of the future, probably the catcher of now because he was getting close to being moved up to AAA and then quickly up to the MLB. He will be out with a torn finger ligament for 2 to 3 months. Just look at his progression. I mean, he was progressing really nicely. He is an all-around catcher, even has speed. That's one thing I like about Garrett Stubbs, our current catcher. He has speed, but Corey Lee can play every position as well. So that really sucks. So now he's going to have to delay his time up, getting up to the AAA level or the MLB level just by about 2 to 3 months. So we weren't expecting to contribute or at least compete right away. So I guess it's for the better, I guess. But he does not get to progress while he's injured. That's what sucks about it. So let's look at our other prospects. Jeremy Pena has gone up 1 overall. He is now at a 70 overall. I will probably keep him at AA so that he can keep progressing. But Justin Thompson, look at him. He is hitting 305. He is our best subscriber prospect. Look at him. His +6 in contact versus left, +4 in power versus left. He is doing great. He is progressing quite well, and honestly progressing in the right areas. I didn't worry about his speed or base running or anything like that. I really worried about his power and kind of his vision, things like that, discipline, and we'll see how he does because he's going to progress pretty nicely this season. So let's just look at the stats here at the MLB level. David Bodie, since acquiring him, is hitting 256. Tim Beckham has got his average up to 251. Really caught a hot streak in the month of May. Garrett Stubbs, though, hitting about 222. We need to get that up. So is Mark Trumbo, hitting below 220. And that's what I worried about. You know, some of these guys that we've depended on to be solid contributors are not doing well. But the good thing is Clint Frazier has kind of been the surprise since acquiring him. He is leading our team in average. So let's look at our rotation. Clay Buchholz is the most impressive guy. He's one of the older guys in our rotation. He is doing well, 6-5. The whip is about average, but still, I mean, I'm getting something out of him, so that's something. Jose Urquidy is really struggling. He's 1-6, 1.68 whip, 6.09 ERA, 49 strikeouts to 23 walks. That's a good ratio, but I was hoping that whip would be down a little more. And then Salazar, definitely not doing well. 2-8. He is facing the other opposing team's ace as well when he pitches, but still, we would need to get some wins out of him. But our bullpen is really doing well, especially Joe Smith. He's got a .77 whip. He's only got 14 innings pitched because he hasn't had many save opportunities, but I would like to see some more guys in our bullpen really do well so that we can deal them at the trade deadline and just build our farm system. So now we move into the draft. Now, I am going to use the Astros suspension. They lose their first and second round pick in 2020 and 2021. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort by age and just randomly stop on a guy and pick him. And the first 2 picks will not count. So Richard Ham, it looks like we're going to be landing on him. He is a 65 potential guy. And you know what? I'm actually kind of disappointed at that because this is one of the guys we scouted, and these are the guys I like to draft late in the draft, just take a flyer on them. So he does end up being the first guy. As we move on to the second round, let's see who we land on. Peter May, and it looks like he's not that impressive, so I'm not too mad about that. And that's how we will deal with those first 2 picks. We'll do the same thing next year as well. So now let's get to our quote-unquote first round pick, which is going to be the compensatory round selection. This will be the first official draft pick here in the Kings franchise. And let's just look at the top guys that we have some accuracy on that have 80 potential. Now, Leo Beltran is pretty good. He's at the top right now, but let's just key on a couple of guys. Let's start with Chris Quintana. Now, he is an 80 potential guy, 70 overall right now, 19 years old. He's got great velocity. He is a righty, and he is going to be special, I think. Alan McGinnis, another guy who we could consider here. He doesn't have the velocity that the last guy had, but he has great stamina. And then the last guy here is Roberto Rodriguez. Now, his injury risk is high, so that's going to kind of deter me from maybe making the selection on him here with our first pick, but he's a pretty good player, so I do need to kind of keep my options open, and I don't want to kind of close them off here. But I'm going to go with Quintana because I think that this guy has an opportunity to be great. His ETA is 2021. I don't really care about that. I just want a high potential guy early. So now let's go to round 3. And this is where I kind of want to get a positional player, but there's so many starting pitchers up here, especially this guy, Lon Davis. He is a lefty, and look at that velocity. A lefty with velocity and with great stamina. This guy could be a superstar. He's 18 years old. He's 5'10", and just looking at him, he is really, really good. But then Leo Beltran, who was at the top of our list in the first round, he is still there. And I am going to consider him. He is 21 years of age, though, so 3 years older than Lon there. And then Charles Hayward is a positional player, which I wanted to kind of get because we do not have any positional depth. So I'm just looking at a couple guys here. Jermaine Archer is another one. Now, we don't have an accurate assessment on him than the other guys. So I don't know about taking a flyer on him. So that takes me back to Lon Davis. He is the lefty that throws hard. I think that is a really good choice there with our second pick, and we get him in the third round. So let's move on to round number 4, and this is where I kind of look to a positional player, and I want to get somebody that will add depth. As far as positional players go, Theo Huerta is a pretty good third baseman. I don't have many guys scouted here. I kind of kept it on auto because I like how the computer kind of scouts multiple guys. And if you do it yourself, yeah, you focus on some guys, but then what if you miss? And that's a mistake I don't want to make. So I do decide to settle on Benitez there in the 4th round. He looks decent. Hopefully he will turn into something. So now we move on to round 5. And I am just looking at the guys that we have the most accuracy on. And I don't see a lot of 80 potential guys except for Julio Gonzalez. He's pretty good. I gotta admit, he's got decent velocity with 70, and he's got an 80 potential with it. His arm accuracy and arm strength, I don't really care about, but I think that actually does play into something. I'm not really sure. But then his stamina is pretty good as well. And he's 19 years old. So let's just go with him there in the 5th round. Hopefully he does come up with, come to be a good player. And now we move on to the 6th round. Now I'm just looking at Irvin Spabori, and we only have 5 guys here on our board. So, I mean, there's no real risk here. It's our last pick. So we might as well go with him. He's 20 years old, 65 potential with that accuracy that we have. We don't really know if that's going to be true, so we will draft him. So let's look at all of our draft picks, and I just want to point this out down in the comment section. I do want you to submit your prospect profile. All these guys will be renamed to one of you guys. Make sure you do specify the position, and I will get you in there. I won't change the pitches because that's what he went with, but I will change the name, the measurables, all that good stuff. I will not change the handness, so if you're a righty, you will stay righty. Lefty, you will stay lefty. Chris Quintana, it looks really good. He is a 71 overall B potential guy, along with Lon Davis, a B potential, 74 overall, 18-year-old lefty. He's got 82 velocity right now. The other guy had 99. Wow. Roderick Benitez, though, our 3rd pick, he ends up not being good. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to try to develop him and see what I can get out of him. He is D potential, but I do still want to develop these guys and just, take a chance on them. Julio Gonzalez. Wow, we did really, really well drafting pitchers. B potential, 61 overall. I'm glad to add some more depth to this organization as far as pitching goes. But then our last pick, Irvin Spabori, he does not end up being good. He's like I said, another deep potential guy. So our position players did not draft well at all. The only thing about him is that he is 64 overall. If he does well in the minors, we could possibly get that potential up. So I'm pretty optimistic about this draft class. I don't think we did too bad. Quintana is obviously a stud with 99 velocity. That's going to be amazing to have in our organization. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I talked about the catcher position. Corey Lee was about to be moved up, but then when we were simulating, Lorenzo Quintana, who was actually a catcher at AAA, got hurt. And that's a position that I was really, really banking on, having Quintana there and Corey Lee, but now both of them are hurt. So now we have to stick with Garrett Stubbs, who's not hitting well at the MLB level, about 220 below that. And then Forrest Whitley is our top prospect in AAA. I would rank him right now as the number 2 prospect in our organization because he is a pitcher and because I do want to mark him just a bit over Pena, who's a shortstop. And then Gray Kissinger, I'm going to rank him as probably the number 5 prospect in our organization. He is a shortstop. He's a good defensive shortstop. So I do want to kind of see what these guys can do. So I did show the AAA Showcase in the Whalers franchise. Go check that out if you did not see that. And we continue from that. I don't need to go over that. But now we will take a look at AAA. So let's take a look at Forrest Whitley. This is all about the prospects here in this episode. Let's just see how they look. So here he is starting out this game, and he will at least pitch 5 innings in this one. I want to see him go 5 innings, see what he's got through 5. He gets the first batter to fly out. The next batter, Eric Jenkins, comes up, and he goes to left field. And look at this. The left fielder kind of just falls asleep, and he does bobble it, and we throw it to second. And the runner had 97 speed, so he beat that out. So up comes Murillo to the plate, who hits 1-2 left field, and that one will be a can of corn. This time, the left fielder won't fall asleep. So now 2 outs here in the inning. Sam Travis at the plate, and he will fly out to short right field, and that one will be run down. And I believe that's Kissinger playing second base this game. And that brings him up to the plate here to lead off this game. Here he gets a low pitch in the zone. He's going to hit one to the second baseman, and he can't beat that one out. That's a nice play by the opposing second baseman on Nashville, as that brings up the next batter. As we get a line out this time, right back to the second baseman. And now 2 outs in the inning. Taylor Jones. I'm not going to highlight a lot of these guys because a lot of these guys are just guys. They're not really guys that I need to highlight or guys that I'm even worried about developing at all. So I kind of will highlight the guys that I see that are important. So now let's move on to the second inning. Here's Forrest Whitley at the mound, and Blake Swihart is up at the plate, and he hits one up the middle. He's going to beat that one out, as that brings up Josh Morgan, hitting .372. We need to check out some of these guys that are hitting really well. He gets walked, so Forrest Whitley in a little bit of a jam here with 2 outs. Next batter comes up, hits one to left field, and that one will reach the left fielder. We will come up throwing, and the throw is offline, and Forrest Whitley gives up the first run of the game. So now it's 1-0 here for Nashville, and let's see if Whitley can get out of this inning. Here's the next batter, and he will get him to look over the middle of the plate. That was a hanging slider. I don't know why he looked at that. So now we move on to the second inning. Here is Ronnie Dawson at the plate, and we will kind of look at these middle of the order guys like Brad Zuniga. He comes up, he hits one deep to right field, and that one does have carry. It bounces over the wall in right field, and that is going to be his 9th double of the season. And let's just take a look at Brad Zuniga, and he is not a very good prospect. And this is the reason why I'm not going to really get into too much depth, because these are just guys. I don't think they have a true future in our organization as it is. A couple of these guys do, but I will want to see how they develop. So now we do get a situation here with guys on second and third, and we do drive in a run, and that's going to bring up Steven Wren with 2 outs, and he hits one up the middle, and that's going to be smoked, and we will score 1 runner before, and now the second runner comes across the plate, and it's 2-1 here. And now let's see if our pitching can hold this lead as this inning does continue. But Dustin Garneau, another catcher in our organization who we've been looking to develop a little bit. He signed with the Astros in free agency, and he hits a little dribbler up the middle, and that one is going to score another run, and it is now 3-1 here. And now this inning still goes. Greg Kissinger at the plate. He swings that one out of the zone, and that one will be the 3rd out of the inning. I want to see what he can do, because like I said, he's one of the top prospects in real life with the Astros. He kind of stayed with this organization, and now we get into the 3rd inning, and here we are once again starting this inning out with the hit to the right side. That's going to bring up Brad Zuniga. So let's see what he can do. Here's a hanger, and he hits one to the right side, and that one will sneak through, and that is another hit. So now we got guys on first and second here with Osvaldo Duarte, who comes to the plate. He's already 1 for 1. He hits one up the middle, and that is a great liner up the middle, and that is going to be a run scored here for our AAA affiliate, and that is going to be 4-1 here for the Express. And now here we are, guys on first and second again. Another liner up the middle, and that one will get through. And there's going to be a throw to third base. But look at this. There's a little bit of confusion. Hit the wrong button here, and we actually do retreat and get tagged out in the rundown. And that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. So let's see if Forrest Whitley can hold this lead. So here is Blake Swihart, the Red Sox affiliate, up at the plate. He hits one to left field, and that one will reach the wall away from the shift. And he starts out this inning with a 1-out double, as that brings up the 7-hole hitter, who drives one deep to left center field, and that one will bounce off of the wall. And we will play it off the wall, but another run comes in for Nashville, and they do trim this lead down to just 2 runs. Let's see if Forrest Whitley can get some composure here. Josh Morgan at the plate in the 8-hole. He hits a grounder to first base, and Zuniga will field that one cleanly, and that one will bring up Brendan Davis, who's hitting in the 9-hole. He's already got a hit in this game, 2 outs. He hits one to right center, and that one will fall in and get past the center fielder, and it will bounce all the way to the wall. The runner's got 55 speed, but he will hold up at second. And now this lead is down to just 1 as the top of the order comes back up. Whitley gives up a liner down the right field line, and that is a big run, and that's a big inning here for Nashville. They tie this game up at 4 apiece. So it looks like Whitley might have a little bit to go for developing. He needs to get out of these jams. Here's a low pitch in the dirt. Hey, look at this one. This one bounces down the left field line, so the runner does advance. And now we really need to get out of this one, because the base hit scores that runner at third. Here's the next batter. He hits one up the middle, and that is going to be a single. And wow, a 4-run inning, and Nashville takes the lead. And this inning will continue. Like I said, I want him to keep pitching through these tough times. I want him to go 5 in this game, and he does get Murillo to strike out there on the low slider. And that's going to be a swing and miss as we move on to the bottom of the 6th inning. So now we started out with the hit with no outs, and that one will be a leadoff single. And I like that because I like what some of these AAA guys are doing, hitting the ball up the middle with consistency. I like to see that. So here is Steven Wren, who's already 1 for 2 in this game, and he watches one up in the zone, and that one is going to be called a ball. That one was a strike probably. And Rafael Montero, who has had some MLB experience, and he does walk the batter to bring it to Dustin Garneau, who should be at the MLB level. He gets an outside fastball, and he watches one. So now bases loaded with no outs here in this inning. That's going to bring up Gray Kissinger, the guy who we really want to do well. He gets a hanger, and he hits one deep to left field, and that one will be about warning track power. We will tag the runner at third, and we will get the sac fly on that one. So Kissinger did his job, at least brought 1 run in. So that's going to bring up Claudio Jr., who is another one of our prospects that are one of our subscriber prospects. He hits one to third base, and that is going to be a double play. And that one will end that inning as we move on to the bottom of the 9th. In an 8-5 game now, Taylor Jones at the plate, and he will get up with a 3-1 count. Right down the middle is a fastball, and it will be a pop-up, and that one will end this game. And our AAA affiliate, Express, will lose this one. I liked what I saw from Kissinger in that scenario, but not a lot of flash here from the AAA level. Most of our talent is at AA, and that is going to do it here for this episode of the draft and the AAA game. And I want to make sure you guys get your prospect comments in below. Make sure you do check out the comment section and get your guys in. They will be selected by random, and they will replace all of our draft picks, along with some of maybe the free agents we signed in the offseason that we do bring in as prospects as well. That won't be a lot, but it will be a few. So make sure you guys get that in, and we will continue this Kings franchise. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I've been working hard for a minute. The ones who don't deserve it seem to be the ones that get it. The ones who speak the truth never get the recognition, but the ones that act foolish seem to get all the attention. It don't matter though, yeah. Hey, it don't even matter though, no. Hey, it don't even matter.